Early in my coaching career, I read a book by a man named Chip Conley called Emotional Equations. There was one nugget in that book that I come back to again and again. The audience for this book was male CEOs, and the premise by Chip Conley, he said, I wanted to give men financial and mathematical tools for managing and thinking about emotion. So, I'm going to share with you one of those equations that I find quite generative, and I'd love to see what you think about. This equation is anxiety equals uncertainty multiplied by powerlessness. Okay? Sit on that. Tell me what you think. I've been chewing on it for about 18 months. The implication of putting it in a mathematical equation is you can think in math terms. If you want to reduce the product of two multipliers, you can do that by lowering either of the multipliers and preferably lowering both of them. So now, if you want to lower anxiety, how might you go about that? Well, you want to look at either of the multipliers, uncertainty and powerlessness. All right, how do we reduce uncertainty? Well, Conley's idea was thinking about uncertainty as a balance sheet, assets versus liabilities, right? The knowns versus the unknowns. So your liabilities, the things you don't know in this world, are going to be big, and you can never get rid of all of them, right? But what you can do is you can work on the knowns. You can gather information, right? Who do you not know that you could know, right? What are people saying that is information that you don't have yet, right? So you are going to figure out what you don't know, and then the antidote to that is to gather information to increase your assets rather than worrying a lot about your liabilities, because you can move things from unknowns to knowns through your efforts, right? These are not out of your control. What about powerlessness? Powerlessness are the things in the world that you do not control. There are always going to be decisions made about you in rooms that you are not in. That is a really hard feeling. However, what do you control? You control the actions that you take, the way you show up, the relationships that you have, and to some degree, your reputation. You don't control all of it, but you control the elements that go into it. And you control what you are measuring, right? If you are measuring the actions that you are taking, you can actually sort of correct. I thought doing this would cause this. Turns out it doesn't. So I know for all of us, there are so many things we feel powerless about. However, you can add to the assets of that part of the balance sheet by thinking about what you do control and then measuring the actions that you are taking. I'd be really curious what you think of this. I come back to it a lot, and it has been generative for me and for clients.